I realize now that my microphone wasn't on, but now it is. Hey, welcome. I'm sorry that you couldn't be here for the live stream, but thanks for watching the replay. I do these every Wednesday at 6 p.m. Pacific. Today we're checking out the Joyo Scylla. I don't know what this is. Fast forward about 3 minutes into the future, and we'll get the show started, I promise. I'm going to wait just a couple of minutes for people to start filtering in. And I'm going to try something a little bit different right now. I'm going to do some looping. I normally don't do, at least not these days. Normally don't do a lot with the loop pedal anymore. Let's just grab a bass. But I hope y'all are doing well. Let's make some music, shall we? Shall we? Yes, it is. Okay. Let's, I don't know. Let's just play something really quick. Not bad. Y'all, I'm just killing time. I'm going to create a little loop. Give me 2 seconds. Promise, we're going to get the show started in about 2 or 3 minutes. Promise. Hold on. Doesn't sound half bad. I gotta practice my drumming for sure. Hey Schuster, how you doing, man? You're right, it's Wednesday stream time. Check. Now, something I do need to have control over. There we go. I should be able to pull that volume down easier. Gosh, my drumming's so nasty. I hope you guys are doing well. Today we're going to be checking out a pedal from Joyo, the Scylla. I don't really know how to say this. It's a bass compressor. We're about to find out a little bit about it. And I'm going to pull my mic down. Hey, 1, 2. Check, 1, 2. Okay, that's better. Much better. Still trying to send you that custom. Okay, Schmooster, here's what I want you to do. Send me an email to Jayme at thebassist.net. That's Jayme at THEBASS. I almost poured it this way and then threw a bunch of water. Thebassist.net. Jayme at thebassist.net. Send me an email. We'll connect. I apologize. I know you've been wanting to make that happen, and I'm an asshole. I'm trying my best. This is kind of cool. I like being able to create my own background music like this. That's pretty sweet. We might do this at the beginning of every stream. I have a couple of guitars here now. We got a drum kit in the other room. We might get creative with some intro jams here. Because you know what? I really liked it whenever I have a guest here in the studio, I'll always spend like the first 5 minutes just jamming. If you've watched any of the replays, I'm always like, hey, skip 3 minutes. We're just going to play. And then we'll just kill time. We're having fun. We're playing music. But whenever I do these solo, I'm always like, let me plug in some cables. I don't know what I'm doing. This is much better, though. I'll create a little jam. We'll hang out. It's pretty sweet. Today, we're going to check out, this bad boy right here. Typically, I have a machete. I'm not lying. My machete's right here. Machete in studio. However, I don't need to use it to unbox this thing because, well, it's already unboxed, as you can see. So we'll just unpackage it. Speaking of which, let's just go ahead and get into it, shall we? Yeah, let's do it. Bam! Let's get started. Today's DI was this Telefunken TDP-1. That's what you just heard that Warwick bass going into. And let's open this thing up. I'm trying to find where my camera is. Hold on. I'm going to move my microphone a little bit. This is a bass compressor that costs about 60 or 70 bucks. It's not that expensive. And at the moment, I can't figure out how to open it. It's one of those packages. One of these ones. You got to flip it up like that. Okay, so we got a manual. Not going to read any of that yet. All right, here we go. A single pedal. Packaging is very basic. It's just got the thing and instructions in 2 languages, English and something else. Let's put that off to the side. Okay, this is interesting. You don't normally see the stomp on the corner like that. Usually they put it in the center. I don't think I've seen that before. Not that it really matters in any way, but that's interesting. It's all the way on the edge like that. All right, so basically we've got 4 knobs and 2 dials. Or actually, it's 6 knobs. They're all dials. We got input and output, ratio, attack, release, and tone. Tone normally isn't a knob that you would see on a compressor, so I'm going to be interested to check this out. So Joyo hit me up online. They sent me an email a couple weeks ago. This finally arrived, so we're just going to dive into it today. I promise this will be less than an hour. We're just going to see what it sounds like. This compressor pedal costs $69 on Amazon. There's links to everything in the description if you like what you hear. But when it comes to stomp box compressors, I don't want to say that I don't like them. And I'm not trying to pigeonhole this and cast any judgment. I just want to let you know, when it comes to stomp box compressors, it's difficult because you don't have good metering on them. Metering meaning that little needle that goes back and forth. Even LED lights really aren't good enough. You need to see a needle because with compression, you have to know how much compression you're doing, how much gain reduction you're doing, and then you got to do a math problem to figure out how much to make up. And watching your meters is a really good indicator of how much compression you're doing. On a pedal, you don't get that. There is, let me show you this. There is a little, I'm going to guess that's a light that'll flicker and tell us this is a total guess, but I'll bet it's got green, yellow, and red or something like that to let you know a little bit of compression, a lot of compression, and then maybe it'll let you know when you're clipping. So we'll just kind of see what we can do with this. First thing I got to do, though, is I got to plug in my bass to it. So where is that cable? That's how you know this shit's live, people. I am not messing around. I'm not lying to you. Okay, so this is the bass. And let's follow the signal. I'm guessing that's in. This side will go to my bass. And then I need a cable to go from here to my DI box. And wouldn't you know it, I don't have a cable lying around. So hold on, let me grab one. Chat, if you guys have any questions, please let me know, and I promise I'll get to them. But what did I do? Hold on. I was like, I know I just saw a box of patch cables lying around here, and I found it. But, I'm going to change this also. Okay. Schmooster says, filmed before, live studio audience. If there was a clap track, I would have it turned on. You believe me. Okay, so let's close Ableton. All right, so now I want to know, is this sending us signal? Yes, it is. Okay, I just need one more thing. I need to plug in power. I've got one. Got one of these one spots over here with look at how long this cable is. This is a power cable from One Spot. These visual sound one spots, these things are brilliant. For sure, this is going to reach. It's like, oh, I hope I've got enough lead on it. Okay. All right, I know it's going to be a little ugly because, again, I didn't prep for this. It's kind of the whole vibe of the live stream. All right, so like I said, yeah, we got a green light. Oh, and the whole thing, it's got LEDs around the border. That's pretty sweet. Okay, let's move this cable here so it's not pulling it off the table. All right. We're looking good. Let's come over to this angle. Do that kind of thing. I'll move this. We're getting all cozy in here. Okay. All right, sweet. Next thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to grab a bass off the wall. Actually, before I do that, let me say this. Do you use COM? Alex, I don't know what that means. Can you elaborate? Do you use COM? I don't know what that means. I'm digging the presentation, but what does it sound like? You're right, Schmooster. We're getting to that part. That's the next part. I was going to say something about this compressor. When I use compression in a pedal form, I mean, in general, when I use compression, but specifically when it's being used on a pedal, there's really only three reasons. One is a leave it on all the time. Like, don't ever touch it. It goes at the end of the signal chain. It's always on. And you probably can't even tell that it's doing anything. That's one way to use compression. The second way is for slapping or tapping or like a specific sound that I'm going for. The third thing I would use compression for... Wait, slap, tap. General. Okay, so I guess there's only two things. I thought there was a third thing. Apparently, that's the only thing I'll use it for. Jayme, use that bass you use on the Set a Give video. You know what? That one's in storage. I don't have that one here. Sorry, but I'll get it out for you. I'll bring it next time. Let's do. Let's use the Warwick that I started with. Why not? I'm just grabbing this bass at random. Just to see. Do you use compressor pedal on live shows? It's been a while. Honestly, compressor pedals, like I just said, or like I was saying earlier, metering is really, really important when it comes to compression. Pedals usually don't have good metering on them. So in a live scenario, I probably haven't used a compressor pedal in maybe 3 or 4 years, but I do use compression every time I play live or in the studio. It just may not be in pedal form. Okay, why don't I have bass? Now I do. Okay, so here's the sound of the bass. Totally, totally dry. You can see the pedal is not on. I'm going to go ahead and kick it on. And you can see we've already got, so the output knob, input. Is that feeding the compressor? Sounds like it. Okay, so input or threshold. I mean, I'm going to guess that's what that knob means. Let's do this. This stupid cable right here is moving it. Yeah, I don't want it to slide on me. Okay. All right. So I'm going to guess threshold, ratio, and then, so yeah, input knob is probably acting more like a threshold knob. So I'm going to set a low ratio at first. We are totally flat on the Warwick. Now we are. Schmooser, yeah, this Warwick's pretty sick, man. This is one of the basses that came through the studio, and I've done so many sessions on it that I kept it. Usually, most of the gear that comes here, you've seen all the videos and stuff, I send it back. This one, the week it came in, I used it on like 9 recording sessions, and I was like, oh shit, this is a pretty handy bass. It's got all these switches. I don't know what they do. I don't know. But you can get a lot of different sounds out of this bass. So we'll start with slap. That's kind of, if you're going to use a compressor at all, it's probably to get that really sucky, smacky slap tone. Better sound, clearer, and can hear you better. Excellent. So let's just start with the low ratio. We'll drive the input gain. The attack, I'm going to set somewhere in the middle. The release, really fast. And the tone, let's just go wide open. Tone is an interesting one for a compressor. I'm not used to seeing that. So that is pretty aggressive. Let's back off the input. Not bad. Ratio. So you can definitely hear it's a pretty fast compressor. It's squashing down on it pretty hard, pretty quickly. Give it time, y'all, I promise. Promise we'll get there. So right now, I can only hear it kind of squashing too hard. I've got the input all the way down, the ratio all the way down, the attack in the middle. It should be doing very little. And if I turn off the compressor, besides making it louder, that's pretty much all it's doing right now. So now let's start to drive it, see if we can't get that kind of pumping sound. Harder on the ratio. A little harder. Okay, so right there, you see how I went from like here to here, and it was like drastically different and unusable. So let's kind of leave it somewhere in the middle of that. Could be too fast of a release also. Unless... So this bass also has a really hot output. I'll try it on a passive instrument next. But as you can see, I've got it, unless there's something in the manual that says like the things are backwards. It looks like I'm barely touching it. Looks like I'm barely messing with it, and it's starting to squash already. Let me just look at here. Let me see something. Attack. Toggle. Oh, shit. There's toggles on the back. Sync, always, and off. Okay, so there is a switch on the back. I don't know if you guys can see it right there. And that is a... foot switch sync LEDs. Foot switch controls. I don't know why you would want to control LEDs. Oh, this foot switch. I thought, okay, yeah, all right. So when you hit this, it controls all the LEDs. All right, so that's what that switch is for. When I saw a foot switch, I was like, why would you plug in like another foot switch to this? It's already got one. So again, this bass has a pretty hot output. I think that's why it's squashing it down so quickly. I'm gonna turn it up. Yeah, it's still squashing it too quickly. Okay, so if I back off the attack knob way over to the edge, again, like this is where you got to know your gear. How fast in milliseconds is the attack? A 1073, an 1176 is totally different than an LA2A, and so every compressor reacts a little bit differently. You got to kind of fidget with it for a few minutes. And I like what it's doing now. Okay, that's a bit too much. That ratio knob is really, really sensitive. I'm gonna play around with the tone knob for a second because I kind of like the amount of attack compression it's doing. That's tone knob all the way up. Let's roll it down. Not bad. Sounded pretty sick all the way up, and I don't even have the top end blended in on or boosted on this bass. Okay, I'm gonna back off the input a little bit. If I turn it off, turn it back on. So it's definitely louder. I'm gonna back off the input and the output a little bit. I'm also gonna turn off my mic right now because a lot of what you're hearing could just be the microphone picking it up. So give me a second. I'm gonna turn off my mic and I'm just gonna slap for a little bit. Let's see what happens. Okay, so I can definitely hear, I can definitely hear the compressor turning on and off. You can hear it squashing those dynamics. I definitely feel like the attack is still too fast, and I just moved it, but we were pretty much like as slow as it goes. I'm pretty sure, unless I've got them backwards, which I do. So this side is fast. This side is slow. So that's not what we want. This is closer. Okay, and so this is fast. All right, now we're getting there. Sorry, I know I've got the wrong screen turned on. Okay, so I was thinking fast attack, slow attack. I thought it was left to right. I had it backwards. So now it's probably better set for a slap. You can see it's not squashing down on the signal so quickly. Let's turn up the ratio and drive the threshold or the input a little harder. That's the sound I'm looking for. Now I'm going to back it off a little bit. Turn up the volume. Okay, let's come back over here. I'm going to turn off my mic. Okay, you know what? I'm not going to lie. I really like what this is doing. And to give you an idea, I'm going to turn off the compressor now. Okay, so check this out. Compressor off. You probably saw me playing with the knobs. I was checking the bridge pickup, neck pickup, boosting the top end just a little bit. I'll do that again with the compressor on. I'll do that same thing. Watch over here. When the green light is on, compressor's on. Green light is off, compressor's off. I'm going to turn off my mic so you can hear what's happening. Sick. I'm not lying. That's pretty killer, especially for a $70 compressor. If all I had to do was set this for slap, that's badass. I could probably get away with dialing it back a little bit to get less of that sound, but it only helps you out, especially when you're doing all the ghosted stuff. If you're just playing, it's helping you a little bit, but not a lot. It's when you start doing all of those little, they all start to pop out once you throw on the compressor. Oops. Come on, turn on. Ah. So as a slap compressor, I dig it. I can't wait to dive in a bit more with it and when I inevitably do the full video. But as far as a slap compressor, not bad. I'm going to check the chat, see what you guys are saying. Warwick has such a weird tone. I want to like it. Patrick, you know what it is? It's the top end. The top end on these Warwicks, it makes the sound of, if you're in a gym, like a gymnasium, an indoor basketball gym, and you bounce a basketball on the floor, that's how I describe the top end of a Warwick. It's not like slicey top. It's like that, the sound of the basketball hitting the floor. Like that's the slice. That's the smack. That's the way I explain the Warwick sound. Not bad. That's pretty cool. Adds a bit of grit to it. Yeah, not bad. Warwick is mainly modern. Tons of people love it. You're absolutely correct. This is definitely a more modern instrument. So let's go with something old school. Let's try. And chat, if you guys got any questions, any requests, please let me know and I'll make them happen. Where's, I just put it down. You know, give me a second while I get this instrument set up. What do I need? I need a strap. I just put it down. And I need that cable that I just put down. And I just unplugged my headphones. It's like, why can't I hear you guys? There we go. Much better. Why can't I? I just unplugged them again. The places you'll go. Okay. Gaff tape. I'm going to fix that so that doesn't come off next time. All right. So that was a modern hi-fi sound from the Warwick. This is a passive Fender J bass. Let's go ahead and turn on. Gain it up a little bit. Not to change the subject, but have you checked out Corey Wong's new compressor? Patrick, I have not. Have you? Okay, so one thing I use compression for is, as I said, whatchamacallit, for slapping. Oh, I remember what the third one was. Second one was just like general, it's on all the time, don't ever touch it. We'll check that in a second. But the next thing I'll always check is finger funk. That's another place where sort of like slap bass, you get the benefit from all those ghosted notes and all the things that you're doing. So bass is off right now. I'm sorry. Compressor is off right now. And let's go with the neck pickup. Bridge pickup. It's been a long day, y'all. I don't even know what I'm saying anymore. Okay, so bridge pickup. You can hear the buzzing. Can you do a couple of slides to test the compressor? Losing volume on a low slide. Oh, I see what you mean. Yeah, some glissandos. That's the fancy talk for slide. And I know what you mean. Yeah, like it starts quiet, and then as you can increase the volume the faster you go. Yeah, we'll do some of that. Let's see what it sounds like on some finger funk. We'll do the tone knob in the opposite direction. Notice it's mellowing out the buzzing from that 60 cycle hum of the single coil pickup. So that's kind of nice. With compression, as you raise the noise floor, you raise the noise. So notice when the compressor's off, the buzz isn't as noticeable. That's a little more prevalent. And with that tone knob up, makes it worse. So backing off the tone knob will darken the sound of the bass, but also get rid of some of that buzzing. Okay, so over here, let's dial in a tone with, again, fast release. You're pretty much never going to touch this on a bass. You can set it for fast release. That's pretty much where you always want it. The ratio, I'm going to go a little bit harder. Let's really dive in with the input gain. And the attack, I'm going to leave it almost in the same places with the slap bass. I love it. You guys probably can't tell the difference. Watch what happens when I turn it off. Turn it back on. With compression, the real difference is when you're playing, because between those two examples, I felt like the second time when I kicked the compressor on, my right hand didn't have to play as fast, or sorry, didn't have to dig in as hard, and I was able to get more volume. That sounds to me, if I close my eyes, I'm like, bam, 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 bam. I'm like smacking the shit out of those strings. But if you listen, I'm actually barely touching them. Especially when you do those. Do some triads, just moving up a major scale. How fast can I play that? Need to practice. Turn off the compressor. Now I'm playing the wrong notes. So you can see when I'm playing fast, now my right hand has to dig in harder, and now I'm chopping over notes, and also I'm digging in harder. My bass is going to go out of tune. Kick on the compressor, and I've kind of got that in-your-face smacky, bop, 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 lots of punch, but I'm whispering on the instrument. Okay, so you were talking about doing slides or glissandos. I'll turn off the microphone. Yeah, especially on the way back down, Schmooster, that's where you really notice it. Consistent, and still there on the way down. Whereas without the compressor, it's going to be loudest here, quieter, almost gone by this point. Right? Oops, I did that the other way around. Yeah, because by the time I get back down to my first fret, it disappears. So, yeah, you are correct. I never thought of that as a way to test compressor pedals. Also using, just doing a big old gliss. Just gonna jam for a second. Why not? With the 60 cycle hum. Yeah, even for finger funk, I'm impressed. Sounds like this tone would fit a Bill Worrell song. You know what? They all do. Someone asked earlier if I use compression live. Yeah. Typically, when I had a pedal board that I played live, and I would have 3 compressors, just about. Sometimes as low as 2, but never just 1. Compressors, unfortunately, you have to have a few of them because it's sort of like an overdrive pedal for guitar players. I mean, it is. It's dynamics limiting, but for bass, what that literally translates to is if I plug a different bass into this compressor, like a second ago when I was slapping, if I grabbed just a J bass like this one, but with round wound strings, this one's got flats. But if I just picked up any passive bass plugged in and started slapping, it wouldn't sound right, because it wouldn't be hitting the compressor as hard because the gain level is different now. So with compressors, you have to have them set up. This one's for slap. This one's for sustain. Oh, which is the next thing we're going to check. And then this one is for, like kind of what I was just doing, more of like a meat and potatoes kind of playing. But so yeah, you might need to have several compressors, and it's $70. Shit, dude. I wouldn't mind having one of these. All right. Let's do one more. Grab this guy. This is a Sadowski PJ Metro Express. This is one of their new instruments. Pretty cool. Good stuff. Imagine being a bassist when compressors first came out. That would have been World War II, 1940s. Motown, 1960s. Well, the technology was 1940s because it was, compressing radio signals being sent across, whatchamacallit, across the ocean. Okay, so I've got this in active mode, so it's going to be a little hotter, and that's okay. It's kind of what I want. I'm going to play one more. You know what? Let's pull up a track. Yeah, we'll play along to a song for this one. So another thing we might use compression for is for sustain. Some notes like, not some notes, all notes. Bow. Eventually there's a taper. Eventually it's not very loud anymore. So let's see if we can't use compression to get more sustain, which means it's going to be on a song that's got more long notes. A song like this. That's the type of groove that would benefit from using compression for sustain, which, if we're doing that, it's going to look like this. It's going to be the opposite. See how I've got this fast release? I'm going to go whoosh, way longer on the release, and I might squash it sooner too, just depending on what it sounds like. But that's what I mean why you'll need 2 or 3 compressor pedals, because even though it's a compression pedal, it's 2 different effects: slap compression, sustain compression, overall compression. So that's why we end up stacking them a lot of times. What songs do I have pulled up here? Here's a perfect example. Okay, this is a song called Too Soon by Kellyeann Keough. Kind of a, let's see. Yeah, let me see. Yeah, so you can see the tempo is pretty slow. It's not like a big, fast, jammy thing. And I also want to see, hold on. Chat, you guys let me know if you can't hear anything, but I just want to make sure this track isn't killing you. Let me check that one more time. One more time. Okay. Not too loud at all. All right, so for this setting, I'm going to kind of do the opposite of what I've done on all the other ones. The release was really fast, and the attack was somewhere in the middle. I'm going to do the opposite. I'm going to go slow. We're going to go faster on the attack because I don't really want that sucky sound. And I'm going to go way longer on the release. Okay, that's too quick of an attack. Okay, so now it's kind of quieter, actually. Okay. So I was making sure I was flat on the bass. Yeah, so I'm going really quick on the attack, so it starts compressing right away. And I'm going longer on the release. Right, you can hear those notes. It's just now starting to taper, right? Now it's starting to disappear. So that's the sound that I'm going for in this example. Chat, let me see what you guys are saying. Would you say a dual band compressor is better? I won't say it's better. It's just it allows you to have individual control over dual band, meaning lows and highs. The best would be any kind of multi-band, 3 or 4 bands. That way you can get your lows, low mids, high mids. Top end on this bass isn't that necessary. Not on this bass, on this instrument, on the bass guitar. But yeah, being able to compress the upper mids somewhere around 1.2K, maybe down towards 900. That way you can get the smack compressed and tamed, scoop out that mud, beef up the low end. So it's one of those things where, like, it gives you more control. So does that make it better? Well, how good of an engineer are you? Right? I mean, that's like imagine you were a painter or something. Or someone said, like, okay, here's black paint and white paint. I guess that's all you need, right? Black and white contrast. I'm sure you could draw anything you want. Well, wouldn't it be better to have like 9,000 colors? Like, well, what are you painting? How good of a painter are you? And are you good with color theory? Like, you know, the more tools you have at your disposal, and well, that means how good is your palette? Do you know what you're doing? Or you could screw things up is all I'm trying to say with dual band or even regular compression. You know, like I said, when we first started this video, it took me like a solid 5 minutes to get it to sound good. Not because this pedal sucks, but like that's compression. It's not plug in, twist two knobs, and oh, it sounds good. It's like, okay, how fast is the attack? How fast is the release? Where's the sweet spot? You got to kind of search for it. So dual band or any kind of multi-band compression, just throwing more things at you. So if you know how to engineer, yeah, it's a great tool. If you don't know how to engineer, no, it's gonna make you sound way worse. The Metro sounds pretty sweet. Thanks, Toby. I agree. Compression on. Compression off. So you can hear it's pretty aggressive with the compression, which you should be able to do this. I've got it dialed in to where I like the compression that it's doing. I like how long the sustain is. I like when it's turning on. It's just too much. Overall, it's too much compression. So I can do one of two things. I can bring the input down, but that will affect the attack and the release a little bit. What if I just bring the ratio down? Now it's less noticeable. Now it's going to be way noticeable. So now my dynamic range is totally gone. So if you like the sound of the compression, but you just don't want the dynamics to be that squashed, just pull back the ratio. You hear that right off at the top? Let's just... Or we can adjust the attack too. Yeah, let's squash the daylights out of it. So, highly compressed. Billy Sheehan compressed. That's cool. I'm having fun now. All right, let's play a song really quick. Like I said, this is called Too Soon by Kellyeann and Keough. Okay, so like right there, see how it's just letting those notes ring out? I'm going to turn the compressor off and play basically the same thing. I know, wait for it. Watch. You hear the difference? You might not be able to tell unless you got headphones on, but I can feel the difference. And that's the thing. Compression, it can be so subtle you might not realize it, but if you're playing the instrument and you know what it's supposed to sound and you're like, the note's still there, it's supposed to be gone, why is it still there? Because of the compressor. All right, let me play through this whole song. We'll see what we get. Yeah, let's do it. There we go. When you touch me, but is it too soon to say what I'm thinking? Is it too soon to feel what I'm feeling? I can't help it, I want something more. Can't explain, but I can't ignore how you got me captivated. There may be times we fuss and fight, but we won't sleep till we get it right. Till we get it I always forget there's only like 30 seconds of each of these examples that I play. Not bad. Not bad at all. Like I said, I was just going for sustain on that one. And like I said, if the compression is too hard, all I got to do, I've got it set to where I like it. I just need to back off this knob or this knob, or both of them like I just did. Very nice, very clean. I won't say it's the easiest compressor to use. There are some compressor pedals that won't let you sound bad. This one will, meaning it's a compressor. You can damage your signal with compression if you do it wrong, if you don't do it right. But there are some compressors where the settings are so subtle that it's like you can't make it suck, but then also you can't make it sound good because it's so subtle you can barely notice it. So this is definitely a proper full-featured, full-functioning compressor. Yeah, it'll let you dial in a killer sound, and it'll also let you ruin it. I don't know the exact speeds, what the ratios and all that is, but I also don't really care. If you notice, I try to not look at the manuals. I try to let my ears tell me what I'm hearing, and then I'll check the manual to make sure that's what's happening. Y'all got any questions? Because I think I've pretty much done everything that I need to with this pedal. I have 2 other Joyo pedals that I'll be testing out here over the next couple of weeks. A preamp and an overdrive, and this one here was a compressor. Let me put this away and then chat. We'll talk for a minute, and I'll get out of here because it's almost been an hour. I know. Alex says, I have a bass with a bad dead spot on the 9th fret. Yeah, I know that problem too. Do you think a compressor would help or just make it more noticeable? I mean, it depends. Again, what a compressor is going to do is it's going to take the quiet and make it louder. And then by contrast, take the loudest and make it quieter. So you'll be trying to find that sweet spot. Because on the one hand, yeah, it's going to make that one, what am I trying to say? It's going to make that that one spot of the neck or that one frequency or whatever it is sound better, louder, but then it's going to make all of your other notes quieter at the same time. So, you know what I mean? Like, to answer your question, yes, or maybe no. You gotta check one out. If I were you, honestly, this is a $70 compressor. You can get them on Amazon. There's a link in the description. Try it out. If it doesn't work, return it. No harm, no foul. I don't get paid by these guys, so it doesn't matter. But for $70, I wouldn't be afraid to throw it in and see if it fixes the problem. The only thing I'll say, what you're looking for in a bad compressor is, does it thin out the tone? I've found a lot of guitar compressors where they'll roll off the low end because it's meant for a guitar. You don't want anything below 100 on there. Well, don't do that to my bass. I need everything going down to 30 on that sucker. So this one, I didn't hear any signal degradation when I went from on to off. Oh, that's so cool. I like that the LEDs turn green. Sorry, I'm looking at the TV in front of me. Schmooster says, speaking of dead spots, would playing with the setup or even the strings help with the issue? Well, the dead spot's a neck thing. It's an instrument thing. So maybe, I don't know, if you take it to a good tech, they might be able to help you out. Y'all, I got to get going. Thank you so very much for being here. I appreciate you. Thank you, Joyo, for sending this thing over. I'm going to do a full, proper demo video on it, not just checking out Slap, but, you know, a whole bunch of other things. So look for it in the coming weeks. Skeleton Crew, thank you so very much. I apologize. Things were a little weird today. I know you probably can't tell. The lighting looks a little bit different. We're in a transition stage at the moment, but all good things coming. Schmusser, thank you so much. I appreciate y'all, and I'll be live again. If not this weekend, for sure, next week. I always do them 1 week from today, or I always do them Wednesdays, 6 p.m. Pacific. So there will be another one next Wednesday, and maybe I might be doing one this weekend. We'll see if I don't release another video. Hey, Schmusser, thank you. Appreciate you. Take care, guys. We'll see you next time, all right? Adios.